Oh, wait a minute. Let me.
No, that's
Now they can.
hello
Come
everyone.
on. Hold on. There you go. Yawn.
Okay. Hello everyone. And welcome to Coffee with Ori. Except today I'm drinking kombucha and I'm talking to you guys. Happy Monday. I am your host, Ori. And today we're going to be talking about our emotions. And we're going to be talking about how no matter what we do to try to get away from things, we always end up in the same place. And no matter what we try, it seems like we find ourselves becoming who we once was, and then some people snap out of it and some people don't. Um, I want to talk about I want to talk about childhood traumas. Some of us have gone through many childhood traumas, whether it be physical pain, whether it be physical abuse or mental abuse or sexual abuse or just cruelty or bullying. And some people may grow up to be some people may be strong enough to fight this. And then as they move on, I think you notice that they become very competitive and eventually they're very good at sports, or they decide to take a karate class and then they become good and then they become arrogant. Some people become bodybuilders and then they start to lift and then they start to do all kinds of stuff and they become like the Hulk. And that, I guess, is their release. But then some of us become givers and we become kind and we push our kindness because that's what we want to show the world, that we are not bad people, that we're kind people, and all we want is we want the best, not just the best for us, but the best for them. So we just give of ourselves, of our time, of our energy. Do I believe that we can change that? I do believe that we can change that, and I do believe that we have the tools to do it. I don't believe that we're able to do it by ourselves without actually learning who we are first, who we are, and why we allow ourselves to keep continuously manifesting pain and sadness and sorrow. Some people believe that through incarnations, we keep repeating the same things over and over and over again because of the fact that we've lived this life once before and we didn't correct it. So we come back to this life to do it again. Whereas psychologists believe that it's like, I don't know the name of it. It's not Munchausen syndrome. I don't think it's Munchausen syndrome. Where you get abused and you start to like the abuser or you like the abuse, and then you find it to be satisfying. And then what you do is then you start to cut yourself or you start to do certain things that make you feel good, that will replace the pain, that other pain. However it may be. Hey guys. However it may be, we have to learn as individuals that pain does not go away right away. Pain is there and pain is strong. And whether it's family pain or whether it's other type of pain, we have to remember that we are not attached to our families. We're really not. The scriptures say, and I repeat it because I've said this many times, that we have our physical family, and then we have our heavenly family. So I think that I find it more comfortable being around people that I care about, that are friends, I find them to be more family than my own family. And it's sad to say, but it's true. With that being said, I also understand that I do have a family, and I understand that there is a responsibility within myself to make sure that I am in their lives, but not of their lives, which is a big difference. Be in it, but not of it. So I try my best to be kind, to be receptive, but I also know that when I feel the trigger in my heart, I back away and I pull away. My sense used to be to run away. And I'm not saying that I don't do that to this day, because I've learned to cut people off, which is a way of running away. It's a way of also, not wanting to face your own demons. And when you're afraid, you should face your fears, because your fears make you stronger, not weaker. If you allow your fears to overcome you, then you become scared, and then you become frigid, or not frigid is not the word. You become brittle inside. And every time that something happens, you find yourself almost wanting to collapse because you don't know how to handle this situation. There are many things that are triggers for me still to this day. Family is a very big trigger. Problems that occur in family are very big triggers. And no matter how much I try to remove the pain and the sorrow and the bitterness, there are times that I keep continuing to be that bitter person inside. Hello. I find that there's many of us out here that go through the same thing. We get into a relationship and we tend to find the same type of relationships. We tend to, if we date someone, we tend to date the same type of people, and we tend to enjoy the same type of arguing, the same type of abuse, because we're always looking for the same exact person. It's not that you're looking for the same exact relationship, you're looking for the same exact person you were with, so you find someone that's just like them. I think I went through that too. I'm not quite sure. I think I went through that because I really, like I said, I've only been in love, honestly in love, one time. I've never been in love more than once, true love more than once. So I can't really say that I really know what that really is. I just know that sometimes people want to be around people who are that way. I can tell you one thing though. I like pretty men. I like pretty men. I don't like ugly men. I like pretty men. And maybe that makes me vain and arrogant, but that's what I am. That's what I like. And I don't like older men. I don't like men my age. When I was a young kid, when I was a teenager, I used to date older men. But now that when I became an adult, I didn't like older men. I actually like I like sharing my time with younger men. I know that sounds very superficial, but I find this to be, what I'm going to say is going to sound horrible, but I find it to be very interesting when I date young and stupid. I find it to be very interesting because I observe their vocabulary. I observe their lack of knowledge with the world, and their lack of knowledge of reading and poetry and paintings and foods. So I find it joyful to teach them things that they don't know. That to me, it becomes a plus. So that is how that's a coping mechanism for me. Now, I don't know why, but there are a lot of people in the world that tend to date the same type of people, and they feel that they can fix the person. My darlings, we're not here to be babysitters. You're right, Kathy. There's nothing wrong with liking what I like. You're absolutely right, darling. Some people, my darlings out there, you guys tend to pick the same type of people. And, you know, a lot of women pick abusive men. They like to be verbally abused or physically abused. And there are men who unfortunately choose women who are equally abusive. Thanks, Jack. Has one Wonka bar. So anyway, what I'm getting at is this, okay, guys. The reason I'm bringing this up today is because I had a problem this weekend. It wasn't a bad problem. It was something where I was confronted with something that was said, and it wasn't bad, and it wasn't nothing negative. It was just hola carali, besitos. It was just the fact that I realized that I was still very angry when I thought that I had worked it out, and years of therapy, I thought it helped me and I was over it. I still wasn't over it, and I spent this weekend being very busy, but I also spent this weekend feeling very melancholy about just melancholy towards myself, not towards anyone else, towards myself. Because I was so angry and so upset with myself that I actually was still feeling bitter or angry about things that have occurred that are over and done with. You know, unfortunately, there are people that I have met along the line and along the years, but along the line of being bitter themselves and that like drama. I'm not one of those people. I don't like people. I don't like drama. So therefore, I really don't like people in my home. When people are in my home, it has to be a selective few. Like I have godchildren that I love that come to my home. But there are people that I do not like when they come to my home. And as a reader, you know, there are people here in Florida where they want to come to your home and sit in your home. And I don't want them in my home. I'm a reader and I read over the phone and I'm fine. Or I read FaceTime and I'm fine. But when people that decide to come to my home, I don't like it. Alexander Orozco. Hey, Alex. Thanks. So anyway, so back to what I was saying. So it just made me realize that I was still a little bitter because of the fact that if any of you don't know my story, I'm going to explain this to you really quick in a nutshell. I didn't have a great childhood. I'm not saying that my mother was a bad person. I'm just saying I didn't have a great childhood because of personal reasons that I will not get into with anyone. Religiously, I developed very young, and unfortunately, my development was like most Hispanic people and most Black people that experience, where we go through period, and not all, most. At least with my family, I know that mostly everybody that has developed has gone a little crazy first. So I went through that crazy stage of trying to kill myself as a child, and I mean as a child, very young child. But it was not just because of personal issues like I thought. It was because of the spirit was too strong for me, you know? Now, one thing that I fought with my whole life was trying to make my mom happy, trying to make everybody happy, trying to be a Zen person and try to be kind to everybody. And everybody who knows me knows they met me. I was a very kind person. And I think I've always tried to be kind and human with people. But I was never kind to myself because I was always so angry. When I became known as a spiritual person and I started to do a lot of spiritual work and helping a lot of people, a lot of people depended on me, and I didn't mind giving of my time and giving of my essence and giving of my kindness and my spirituality and sharing everything. But then I was betrayed by many people and it just broke my heart. It didn't get me angry. it broke my heart, because here I am dedicating time to trying to heal humanity, and here's humanity slapping me in the face and calling me stupid, and by people that I thought that were people who really truly loved me. And maybe that's what I wanted. But at the end of the day, when I learned to go within myself and find myself, whether it was through my guru or was through my mentors and my teachers, like, my pundit and my guru and my friend Domingo and other people, because you also learn from people. I had to make a decision. In the process of going through all this depression, I was always so angry that I wasn't manifesting great things. I was only manifesting negative things. So what did I have and what did I end up having? Nothing. I lost, and I kept losing, and I kept losing everything. And no matter how much I tried, and no matter how much I kept afloat, I still had that fear. When things started to manifest better, I was living with someone who I've known for a very, very long time. And it was not a bad thing. It was actually a very good thing. But what I learned was that you cannot put two mentally unstable people in the same household and expect a good outcome. Because if you're trying to heal and that person is not trying to heal, that person just feels like they have it under control, which they don't, then all it does is cause chaos for you. Now, I dealt with it for a couple of years and I was fine, but I dealt with it. I walked on eggshells, although I was accused that they were walking on eggshells, which that was nonsense. But when I had enough money, and yes, I was doing well, I had a store and everything was moving. But when I decided, or Spirit decided that it was my time to leave, I left. And I did not look back. I just kept going straight. I had a friend who accompanied me. I had friends here. And I realized that I was not living my best life at all. So I had to search within myself and write down bullet points of things that were bothering me and things that I thought that I knew I could change. So I started to work on them one by one. And even my bills. So my fear had been, I lost. I don't want to continue to keep losing. So that was my fear. And then I realized that my fear was keeping me from continuing to do the things that I've always done since I was a teenager, which was travel. I've always traveled at least every 3 months. I was always going somewhere. And I was always keeping my mind very occupied and very busy. And for a few years, I used Cuba as my playground, which was great. But I also traveled to other countries. And I've seen other things and I've experienced wonderful things. But there was always still that fear. And that fear was the fact that on one side of my brain, I'm thinking about how successful I am and how successful I'm going to be and how successful I live, because I live in gratitude every day, and how I am very thankful for God, my spirits, my angels, my guides, and the powers that be. But then the other side of my brain is saying, you have to do this because if not, you're going to lose that. You have to do this because, so the pressure is the scale is not balancing on the positive. The scale seems to always balance on the negative, because negative energy happens faster than positive energy. So you can manifest something negative faster than you can something positive. And I learned that. That was an important key that I had to learn. I also had to learn that no matter how many times I fell, it didn't matter, because at the end of the day, there was no one there to pick me up except myself. So as long as I knew that no matter how many times I fell, I can pick myself up, that was another important key. Now, moving on to the best part. The best part of it all was living my life in denial. And I don't mean the river of Egypt. I mean denial. I was in denial that I was okay, that I was complete, that I was fine, that I would, everything was good when it was not good. So for all of you out there, and including myself, every day should be a day to work on yourself. Every day should be a day where you should sit down with yourself and contemplate within a few minutes and ask yourself, what's going on in my life? What's new in my life? How can I change my life? How can I make it better? How can I manifest positive things? And how am I able to shut down that part of my brain that all is bringing me is chaos and denial and sadness and pain and sorrow and allowing the ego to run wild? Also, how can I shut down that part that is always doubting that I will succeed? That's also silent whispers that come from past childhood. Things that people instill in you. You're just like your father, or you're just like this, or you're just like that, and you're going to end up like this, or you're going to end up like that. And this is nonsense that we have heard our whole lives, and that's what we gravitate to. We find our siblings falling apart because while you're healing yourself, the siblings that you have that have gone through what you've gone through, that you thought were always stronger than you, turn out to be weaker than you. So what does that do? It causes chaos in your mind because it makes you sad that your peers are going through the same thing as you. So my analyzation is that we as human beings, we have the ability to either want to change or not to change. We have the ability to either be fearful or not be fearful. We have the ability to change or not change. We have the ability to desire what we want and make it happen, or we have the ability to create obstacles in our lives every time the good things are coming, and continue to create obstacles and leave them there and let them drag on. And then when bad things happen, it's almost like a sigh of relief, because you already knew that it was coming, because you already anticipated, because you already created it. I always tell you about speaking and creating. To speak is to create. What you put out there, what you bring out there doesn't stay out there, it comes back. It may come back equally, or it might come back tenfold. So what exactly is it that you want to do? What exactly is it that you want to change? If you're dating someone who is not the right person for you, then you need to state the facts to the person. The fact is that I feel this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. You do this, 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 and this. And the truth is that no matter how much I love you, I have to love me first. That is the simple truth. And you cannot be fearful of letting someone go with the idea that if you let someone go, you're going to have to be taking care of things yourself. When if you really stop and look, you've been taking care of yourself and other people for the longest time. You just gotten used to the abuse. And that's what you're used to, is being abused, and you're used to that pain. So you're not ready to let it go because you're used to that. So we must learn to gather up a lot of our energies and our strength and understand that No one is judging you. If you are not happy at work and you complain, but then you decide, you know what, I can't be complaining because it's my job. And then you decide to do something else, but you're still complaining, then it's not the job, it's you. And then you have to find out what is causing you to be that way. If you're the type of person, which there are many, that are used to blaming everybody else for the things that happen to them, I know because I was there a long time ago. Excuse me. If you're one of those people, then you need to sit down with yourself and you need to start taking ownership for the shit that you do and for the pain that you have caused others, and understand that maybe what you're going through, it's a karmic effect or universal effect, which is of equal or greater. You know, whatever you do comes back, either greater or equal. And I've learned that living in gratitude all the time, like you're right, Dr. D, it keeps you happy. I also learned that if you learn or you understand people and you learn not to have expectations on anyone, not even relationships, no expectations, your life will be better. Because when you have expectations of people towards you, people are always going to let you down. Always. They're always going to let you down. They're never going to feel you, and they're never going to do or they're never going to give you 110% like you give them. Because just like the universal law and the megahertz that we are vibrating on is higher now, we still try to hold on to our human self by holding on to old habits. And that's why I said that, you know, as much as I have worked on myself, and as much as I believe in my heart of hearts and here in my head that I have everything under control, I have nothing under control. Because if I allowed something to trigger, to become a trigger from my past, and I allowed it to affect me at this point in my life, then I'm still working on myself, and I still have to continue to work on myself. And it's never easy. You know, it's like when a person leaves a job and they want to go to another job where they have an idea, and in their mind they keep saying, well, I know that I can do this. And it's fine, because when you're working it out in here, it's very simple. You're working it out and you're like, I see myself doing this. I see myself doing that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Half the time, half of us don't do any of it. But the ones that do the work, when a disappointment comes, you go back to being the person you were before, which is insecure. You become unready. You become unhinged. And you become your own betrayer. You betray yourself because you're telling yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not going to make it to anything. Like I said, take responsibility for the things that you do. Take ownership of your own demons, because no one can do it. Guys, we're going to go on commercial because we didn't do commercial earlier. We're going to go on commercial now. And when we get back, we're going to finish this, okay? I agree, Kathy. I agree. Commercial, please. Is there one more? I guess not. And Kathy, you're absolutely right. Happiness is your nature, and it's not wrong to desire it. What's wrong is to seek outside when it is inside. And I agree with you 100%. You know, I don't know if you're talking about the emotional effect of love, or you're talking about being with someone and looking outside of the relationship. Either or, you're right. You know, there's no reason for anyone to look outside. I'm going to be very honest with you. I must be the strangest gay person you ever want to meet. Okay. I've done a little bit of everything in my life, but I don't share my partners when I have one, which I don't have one. But I don't share my partners. I don't believe in sharing. I don't believe in threesomes. I don't believe in foursomes. I don't believe in any of that stuff because I'm not a jealous human being. I just feel that if I'm not enough for the person I'm with, then why are you with me? That's just the way that I look at it. Because if you need to be with someone else to make yourself happy, then you shouldn't be with me and I shouldn't be with you. There's no hard feelings. You can walk away because there's nothing that anyone can do for me that I cannot do for myself. Just like there's nothing that anyone can buy me that I can't buy myself, except a Birkin bag right now. So not saying that I can't. I'm sure that if I put money away, instead of spending it and trying to help the world, I will have enough to buy myself a Birkin. But it's just material. And probably, knowing me, I probably end up giving it away because that's what I do. I give things away. I buy them, put them away, and when I get bored, I just give them away. Doesn't really matter. Now, what I was explaining to you is, okay, I've been trying to explain to you that we are vibrating in a different frequency now, in a higher frequency. So we're going to have headaches, and we're going to have body aches, and we're going to have headaches, and we're going to have ringing in our ears like crazy. We're going to be hearing whispers like little things like that, and we think it's the wind, and we go like this, but it's not the wind. We're going to see things that we haven't seen before. You're going to see things appear and disappear. We're going to see people that we actually think that we saw, and then automatically they're not there. And it's not that you're going crazy. The universe is opening up, and the universe is making you see what you need to see, the reality of life. Okay? So you need to understand that you need to submit to yourself and your higher self to understand that, one, we're not alone, and two, that the universe will provide the help if we ask. But most of all, if you allow yourself to remind and to tell spirit, God's angel guides, the spirits, whatever you want to call them, if you allow yourself to let them know on a daily basis that you are living in their gratitude of what they help you with on a daily basis, whether it's money, whether it's your stability, whether it's mental health, whether it's health, whether it's relationship, doesn't matter. As long as you allow yourself to talk to the universe every day, at least 5 minutes, and let the universe know, your spirits, angels, guides, and the powers that be, that you live in gratitude, and that you are in not just living in gratitude, you are also grateful for the things that they bring to you from all different directions, from all over the world, from all different people. And you will see how things become a lot clearer. I've gotten used to telling the sky how beautiful it looks, and telling the universe, thank you for giving me such a beautiful sky. Go outside and look at the trees and thank the trees for being so green, and the leaves for being so beautiful, and thanking the universe and God and the spirits, the angels and guides for allowing me to be able to see everything that I see, and the beauty in everything, and the colors of everything. Because there are people in the world that are colorblind. They can't see color. So I show my gratitude by letting them know that I am living in gratitude. And if they feel that I'm not, then let it be their choice to remove from my life what does not need to be there anymore. Pain is one of the most disruptive things that can be happening in your head right now. Pain. Along with ego. Because sometimes your ego, if it's not put on check, you will have pain. People that you want to notice you won't notice you. People that you expect to notice you, you can forget about expecting because there won't be anything to expect. So you have to make sure that you are living a very normal life and a very put together life so that you can move both among the living and the dead. Because that's the ultimate key, which people don't realize. The ultimate key is to be able to walk alongside of the living as well as the dead. And once you learn how to do that by talking to your ancestors, by worshiping your ancestors, by lighting candles every now and then, by saging your house and cleaning yourself and doing spiritual baths, you'll start to open up and you'll start to see the difference between the bad and the good. You'll start to see the difference between the inner you and the outer you. And you'll start to better appreciate which one makes you more happy, the outer you or the inner you. The inner you might be the one filled with magic, and it's the one that you do closeted. You know, you're a witch in training or a witch in the closet. Or you are a gifted human being with supernatural powers, which people may call you to be a witch, but you do it out in the open and you're not afraid of the consequences because at the end of the day, it is who you are. Sometimes you have to choose whether you want to be the devil or you want to be God. And you have to make that conscious choice, because sometimes no matter how good you are to people and how good you are to their families or whatever, they will sit on you and they will bust up your dream and make you feel like you don't belong. And even though you are of that family, they will still make you feel like you don't belong. So what can you do? If you have tried your best to try to manifest great things with people, and if you have tried your best to give yourself the best of everything by attaching goodness to their child, whether they be male or female, and they still don't accept you, then that means that they will never accept you. So you need to learn to walk away from things like that. It is very important to let things go that do not matter. Giving the negativity vibration by constantly thinking about it, it's not healthy. It's not healthy to constantly be talking about what has happened in the past, because all it's going to do is, like I said, it's going to make you bitter. It's not good when you are talking about things that you know that you could have manifested or worked out, and they just have not worked out for you, because you yourself have allowed it in here not to work out for you. So you have to make sure that when you're doing something, or when you're doing something about this situation, you have to make sure that you are taking full responsibility of what you're doing, that you are taking full responsibility of things that you know that you can manifest, but yet you were too lazy to do it because all you thought about was, I want this to happen and I need it to happen within 2 days. It doesn't work that way. There's a cause and effect for everything. There's a karmic law for everything. There's a dharma law for everything. And there is God's law and God's will and Spirit's will and angels' will. So you have to understand, or put into practice to understand better, who is in control. So 99% of the time, you're in control. That 1% goes to either your spirit, angels, guides, or even God. So you have to know that no matter what, you are in control and you have the power to be in control at all times. but you have to want to be in control. Because if you're in a relationship that doesn't work, why are you there? If you have to go outside your relationship, then why are you there? You know, if you're with someone who supposedly makes you happy, why do you cheat on them? Or why do you go outside the home to be with them? Doesn't make any sense. So then the person obviously doesn't have something that you want, you know, or the person is not giving you the attention that you feel that you deserve. Whatever it may be, or however it may be, what I'm going to tell you is that you have the ability to make things change. No one else. You have the ability to make things right with yourself. You have the responsibility in life to admit when you're wrong and not lie because you're afraid to say that you're sorry. You don't have to say sorry to somebody if you don't want to. You don't have to apologize to anybody. It's up to you. You don't have to apologize. But what you have to do is you have to make sure that if you're going to do something, you're going to follow through. We talked about this last week. You have to say what you mean and mean what you say. You got to follow through. If you say you're going to leave, then leave. Don't say you're going to leave and you keep fighting and then you're going to stay and then you're going to leave and you're going to stay and you're going to leave, because all you're bringing is chaos into your own home. And that negativity, all that's going to do is going to keep winding you up and winding you up and winding you up like a jack in the box. Boom. And then when you had enough and you explode, you're not going to realize, you're not going to know why you're still there. You're going to just grim and bear it and pretend that it didn't happen and, oh, I can work it out. And then what happens until it happens again? And then I can work it out until it happens again. I can work it out. And then what happens? Well, the inevitable. Eventually you'll break up. And then you'll sit there moping and talking to yourself about how you went through life and so much time has passed by. Yeah, so much time has passed by with your foolishness because you were not able to walk away. So these are the things that you have to see. These are the things that you need to put into practice. And these are the things that you need to sit down and analyze yourself. You know, am I doing what I'm doing because I am not happy at home? Because I am frustrated at home? Because I am not catered to at home? Or because when you go home, nobody really pays attention to you, not even your children. So you have to understand and you have to ask yourself, what is the trigger? What is the trigger that makes me feel what I feel? And it's simple. All of us have within ourselves the ability to create anything. Our thoughts are so powerful that we can create anything we want. It's just of knowing not just what we can create, but knowing the vibration in which it has to be so that it can walk this way. You know, it can walk in a very straight line and you can finish doing what you need to do. So, again, bitterness does exist. Anger exists. Sadness exists. All kinds of stupid crap exists. Going to get high because you think that's going to help you. You know, hitting the bottle because you think that's going to help you. You know, these things are just crutches. None of these things will help you except yourself. Once you accept what you don't want to accept, then you know that you're on the right track. But when you accept something that you don't want, but you accept it because you feel that it will make someone else feel better, then it's not worth doing it. You know, a friend of mine says all the time, learn your fabrics. Learn your fabrics. Learn your fabrics doesn't mean to actually learn your fabrics. Learn your fabrics means that sometimes you have to sit back and you have to analyze people. But then I'm going to tell you a secret. Kathy, and you know about this. I'll tell you a little secret. Sometimes you can only analyze people for such a long time until you get tired, and enough is enough. You cannot pull your life and create a lifestyle for yourself and have children and try to keep a family if there's always family drama. You cannot. You either have to let go and walk away, or you have to understand that no matter what you do, it doesn't make a difference. Because no matter what, people are still going to talk. They're still going to analyze you. They're still going to make fun of you, or they're still going to try to figure you out. Hell, I'm 55 years old and people still try to figure me out. I don't understand why. People get in my business. They want to know what's wrong with me, or they want to know what I'm doing, or why I'm doing, or this, or that, or this, that, and the third. But you know what? I don't give a flying fig. Never did, never will. Don't care. You know, I know sometimes people say, well, you do care. No, I really don't. It really takes a lot for me to care about something, and it's got to be super important for me to care. There are certain people that I do care for with all my heart, that they have my heart. But don't get it twisted. Don't think that because they have my heart, I won't say what I have to say. I still put them in their place and still slap their ass because, it's just the way that I am. I'm not going to let anybody abuse me or talk down to me or disrespect me in any way. So, guys, all I'm telling you is this, okay? Well, I want you to understand. Let's just bring everything to like a middle ground. This is what I want you to understand. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. It doesn't matter if you become angry, if you become sad, if you become emotional, if you realize that you're still holding on to anger. First of all, to me, anger is like mourning. Because when I stop talking to people, it's like basically I bury them. In my mind, I can actually envision myself going to their funeral, and I can envision myself, excuse me very much, excuse me. I can envision myself burying them, and I can envision myself going to their wake. So they become invisible. And I've said that too. So technically, opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one. Everyone will give you their opinion. But I believe that the best advice that you can get is from somebody that you ask for their opinion. Not someone who just always wants to give you their opinion. No. I don't believe that people have the right to give you their opinion unless you ask for it. I know that my favorite way to handle people when they ask me and they start asking too many questions, I just say, not your business, not your business, not your business. Why? Because that's how it's supposed to be. It's not your business. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to know what's going on. You don't need to know what happened. You don't need to know who I was at one point. You don't need to know what I'm doing with myself, and you don't have to know what I'm doing for the future. You don't need to know any of that, and as much as I love you, unless I let you into my life or into my circle, you will never know anything about me, which is the way that it should be. But I don't find that I'm doing anything wrong, or I don't find that I'm breaking any rules. What I find is that the rules that I break are my internal views. Anything that I have in my heart that's internal, that I feel that I've caused, it's a problem to me. Anytime I do something and I feel that I hurt someone, That's a problem for me. Every time, people try to check me on something, I just look at them like they have two heads or three heads. Not saying that their advice was right or wrong. I'm just saying that maybe they could have chosen a better time or a better place to tell me. But unfortunately, we live in a society where people just don't care about other people. I say I don't care about certain things, but do I care about other things? A lot of things I care about. A lot of people I love, a lot of people that I respect, and a lot of people that will always have my respect. But just as easy as it is for me to have a lot of people in my life that I do respect, I have just as many that I don't respect and I don't care to respect. So, with this being said, for all you people out there that have suffered at the hands of your in-laws, of your friends, of their friends, of your partner's friends or his exes or whatever, whenever you're dealing with that, the best thing to do is do nothing, walk away. Because you cannot change a person's habit right away. You have to take your time to get to know them as much as you get to know yourself, so that everything that you want will manifest and manifest the way you want it and how you want it. So, my suggestion to you is to keep yourself grounded so that everything can work. Keep yourself. I'm not going to tell you to zen, because it's not guaranteed that you're not going to screw up. You're human. You're bound to make mistakes. So you do you. And don't worry. Because once you realize within yourself that the bitterness that you have inside has a lot to do with things that you have not been able to let go of, then you will get the strength to let go of it. But you have to believe that the opportunity is coming, and it is coming. So you have to believe, and you have to be very secure and quiet in what it is that you want and how you want to manifest it. Because anything you want, you can manifest. Anything that you will manifest. Anything that you desire can be manifested through the power of, I would say, the power of love, or anything like that, because love changes everything, but bitterness does not. You have to love. You have to care for people. You have to understand that everybody has issues and everybody has a problem. None of us are without a sin, because we all committed them. And a lot of things will shake and they will move for our favor, and a lot of them won't. You have to know that you're not born to be liked by everybody. So there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to like you. I mean, I walk into a room of spiritual people, and there's a lot of people that will talk yin yang about me, and they don't even know me, but they will talk about me. I'm used to that already, so I really don't care. But like I said, you guys have to understand that in order for you to move forward, you sometimes are going to have to close that door that's open for you at that moment. You're going to have to close it and walk away without looking back. So this is food for thought. This is the end of my show. I know that I ended up early. It's only 4 minutes earlier. We're going to go into commercial, but I am out of here. I will talk to you on next Monday. And this is Coffee with Ori. And again, I would tell you, like I always do, I would appreciate it if anybody will actually call in to the Food Network. What is it? Lord, I just lost my train of thought there. The Alchemy Food Network, which is what I belong to. And Dr. D is there, and so is Ron, who is the Angel Whisperer, or the Angelic Whispers. So whoever you need to speak to, by all means, feel free, and you will see. And thank you, Nadia. I love you guys too. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll tune in on next Monday. If anybody has a topic that they would like for me to share or talk about, it would really be nice if you can write in and let us know what topic to talk about, because there's so many topics that I want to share, but there's a lot of topics that you guys want to share, and I would be glad to share it for you. So just let us know. And namaste, sayonara, aloha, and all that beautiful stuff. Okay? So I will talk to you guys next Monday at the same time. I want you to be blessed. I'm sending you light and love like I always do to all of you and to your families, and peace and light to the world, so that we can finally be at peace, because, brothers and sisters, I don't believe that we're going to be at peace anytime soon, and I believe that horrible things are about to come. So just prepare yourself for what's coming, okay? Keep yourself safe and keep yourself steady and relaxed. Light and love. We will talk next Monday.